Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do a video where you got to know me a little bit more, along with talking about makeup, of course. So a big part of my life was working at Target. I worked there for 6 years, and I figured I would show you guys not only my makeup routine, but certain things that you have to consider about your makeup while you're working at Target. So hopefully this helps out people who are currently working at Target that need tips on how to get their makeup to stay on and stay looking good throughout the entire day while working there. And for others, this will be a little bit about me, about Target, about me at Target, and makeup, of course. So if you want to find all that out, keep on watching. So before we even start talking about makeup, I'd like to point out this red shirt that I have on. As you know, Target's colors are red and khaki. This shirt here is from Express. I think it's like 30 bucks or something, but almost everybody has it when you're working at Target. It's like the go-to Target shirt. And I figured it wouldn't be right to do a video about Target without wearing this shirt. Okay, the first step is skincare. And I actually use the Burt's Bees Herbal Blemish Stick, which you can find at Target. And I will put this over any spots that I think I'm breaking out because working at Target is quite stressful. There are fun times that you have at Target while working there, but there are definitely some stressful times when you're working hard, you're pulling those 10, 12, sometimes 14-hour days, and you just can't help but break out. So this stick is definitely essential for your skincare routine. And next we have the Kiehl's Eye Alert, and this will help with dark circles, puffiness around the eyes, especially if you just did a close-in, which is a close and then open for the store, so you'll have some dark bags under your eyes. This works really well to make sure that you're not so puffy in the morning, especially after about 5-6 hours of sleep after closing a store. This is also really good for long flights or if you just had a really long day and you have some puffiness around the eyes. This will help with the dark circles and to also hydrate underneath your eye. So next you have to make sure that you moisturize your face. So I use the Ren Evercalm Global Day Protection Cream. And you have to make sure that it's a very non-greasy formula because you never know what you're gonna expect when you walk into the store that you're working at. You could be pushing pallets all day. You could be folding clothes. So pretty much you might be sweating. The last thing you wanna do is look greasy when you're sweating, doing all that work at the store. So you wanna make sure the moisturizer that you use dries really well and dries really smoothly. So the next step is primer, and I use both the Professional primer for my T-zone and the Smashbox Photo Finish in Light for the rest of my face. So I'll put just a dab around my T-zone. Just make sure that my pores are nice and filled in. And I'll go in with the Smashbox primer all over my face. So I worked for Target for 6 years. I started in August 2011. I did a few roles with Target, and then I left around July 2017. Definitely some crazy times at Target, lots of fun times. Some of my closest friends are from Target. And so the people that I worked with were amazing, but of course there's always those crazy retail moments and crazy retail stories, which looking back at it now is quite funny, but in the moment it was pretty stressful. So it was anything from crazy Black Fridays to even crazier customers or guests as we like to call them. And Target has big teams, so there's always some type of fun or excitement going on. Okay, so for your foundation, you have to make sure that you choose a non-greasy formula. So I would steer away from the foundations that make you look kind of dewy. It is nice on certain occasions, but definitely not for working at Target. You're gonna look dewy enough or glow from just the sweat. You have to also account for whether you might be walking up and down a ladder in the back room or maybe just even stepping into a freezer for long periods of time. So you wanna make sure that the foundation is non-greasy and it's full coverage. So for foundation, I use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD in Y305. And I love this foundation because it's buildable and it gives you full coverage. So I put about 3 pumps worth on my face and then I'll blend it out. This foundation is also nice because it's a very matte finish. Again, you don't want anything dewy or anything that has shimmer in it, not only because you're sweating, but there's tons of lights at Target up above, and so if it's something shimmery, you'll just look like your face is drenched in sweat, which is not a good look. So stick with the matte foundation. Okay, now that we have our foundation on, the next thing is concealer. So I use the Shape Tape in Light Sand, and concealer is really important because again, there's tons of lights up above you, and when that shines down on you, you definitely will have bags under your eyes. So you want to make sure that you cover those bags up. So I use a very generous amount underneath my eyes. And I'll go ahead and just put it at the high points of my face as well. Then I'll go ahead and blend that out. So working at Target, I think I was 21 when I started working at Target. It was right out of college. I had heard about their leadership program and thought it was a great, entry-level position. And I would say for the most part, I really actually enjoyed working at Target. There was definitely some bad times there, some stressful times, but for the most part, I definitely owe a lot of what I know now in terms of leadership and just how to have good work ethic. And some of my best managers I've ever had are still with Target, and they were awesome. It was just a great first experience out of college. Okay, so now that we have our concealer on, the next step is to contour. And this is important because the lighting at Target sucks. I know they put in different lighting at Targets, the track lighting, but it's still definitely not that favorable to your skin and kind of just still makes you look washed out. So contouring will help fix that. So for contouring, I will use the Hoola by Benefit. And you want to make sure that you don't go too harsh on the contouring, just in case. You really don't want to go too harsh on any of the makeup. So what you'll see today is kind of a neutral look. And the reason why is you never know when you're gonna have a surprise visit by someone from corporate or just a surprise visit from anyone. So you wanna look good, just not too over the top. You still wanna look professional in case you do have that surprise visit from someone, in which case you're probably scrambling to make sure that everything looks good so that when the visitor comes, you're like, oh, hi. We totally did not overspend payroll and overtime just to make the store look good. It looks perfectly zoned like this all the time. That was always my least favorite part of working at Target. Okay, the next step is to highlight, and I use the Becca in Champagne Pop. And normally in my everyday look, I'll put highlighter on a lot of parts of my face, but when I worked at Target, I would only put it on just my cheeks. Normally I would do my cheeks right here along my eyebrow, on the bridge of my nose, tip of my nose, right at my cupid's bow, then also at my chin. I try to use as minimal highlighter as possible because again, if you have it everywhere, it could very well be mistaken for just being really sweaty while you're working at Target, so you definitely don't want that. So I'll just put it on the high points of my cheeks. And my T-zone's really oily, so I won't put any on my nose, and I'll just put a little bit on my cupid's bow. Okay, next is a very, very important step, and it is baking. So for baking, I use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And the reason why baking is so important is because you don't have time to worry about your makeup creasing. You're over there folding clothes. You're over there cleaning up a spill. You're over there making sure that the kid doesn't destroy the entire toys aisle. You got better things to worry about at work. Now make sure to put this all around my eye. It helps too when you're giving parents the stink eye for letting the kids just terrorize your toy department after you just had a perfect zone in it. Now go ahead and put it also just right between my brows. I tend to furrow my brows a lot, and it stems from certain guests that will shop at Target. Hi ma'am, you asked for a manager? Yeah, I had to wait behind like 2 people. This is unacceptable. Oh, I'm so sorry. So yeah, I guess I furrow my brow a lot when I give the stink eye, so I wanna make sure that I don't crease right here. Okay, so while that bakes, I'll go ahead and do my eyes. And for my eye primer, I use the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. And primer, again, is very important because it helps your makeup stay on all day long. And I love this formula because it's very, very tacky. So it'll help with making the eyeshadow stay on, and it helps it blend out really well. So for my eyeshadow, I want to make sure that I wear something that does not clash with the red that I have to wear. So most of the time I do neutrals. So one of the shades that I use just for my crease and blending it out, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow in Hot Chocolate. I'll put it right in my crease and just blend out. I think one of my favorite memories working at Target is I actually got the chance to open a new store That was pretty fun. You wouldn't think that would be fun. I mean, it was crazy, it was hectic, but my coworkers were amazing. I love the manager that I had. He was awesome. And it was just cool just to, you know, you saw a gutted building with nothing but wires hanging down the ceiling, and then through all your hard work, literally putting the store together, shelf by shelf, product by product, and you see a whole store come to life. So that was pretty cool. And just to give my eyes a little bit of dimension, I'll go ahead and use the Urban Decay Blackout just for the outer corners of my eyes, and I'll blend into the crease. As far as my worst memory at Target, I think one of the worst things was at the first Target that I worked at. I actually lived the closest to the Target, and someone decided to break into Target. And so guess who is the first responder? Me. So things like 3 a.m., maybe 2, I forget. It was early. So I literally roll out of bed, and you have to respond. Like, you can't not respond if they call you. Rolled out of bed, still in my PJs, hopped in the car, got to Target, parked outside, saw a smashed door. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna go in my PJs, what am I gonna do? So I had to stay around for a few hours while the cops came. So that was not fun. And I had to work the next day too. So it's not like I could have taken the next day off. Okay, now we'll go ahead and just dust some of that bake off. Okay, next is eyebrows, and I will use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Ebony and the Brow Wiz as well in Ebony. There's definitely a lot of pros to working at Target. You definitely learn how to work under pressure and to balance a lot of things all at once. And they give you a lot of responsibility, so they do a really good job of recruiting right out of college. And so I mean, it's not for everyone to, you know, learn how to lead people and everything, but I think they give you really good tools on how to do that. And I could really only speak from the leader standpoint. You know, I have friends who were employees or team members at Target, and you know, their experiences vary. I think it has to do with the leaders that are in the store, what role they're in. So it's not for everyone. Other pros is that there's quite a few positions that you can take within Target, and so you really get to explore early on kind of what you want to do with your career, what you're interested in. So that aspect is really cool about Target. And of course, with any, you know, retail job, there's definitely cons to working at Target. I think one is just the crazy schedule. I think most stores nowadays are open until like 11 or midnight, and that's open until, so people don't see what happens after the store closes and what has to happen before the doors open the next day. So it's definitely hectic. Obviously during the holiday season, it's just insane. The amount of people that are in the stores, what you have to do to make sure the store looks good, still shoppable, and you know, not everything is on the ground. And I would say for the most part, the guests that shop at Target are pretty nice, but you know, I think with any job that deals with the public, you're gonna get those sour grapes. And those people who, the people that really annoyed me the most were the ones that thought less of us for working a retail job. And they, you know, were just like so rude and thought they were so entitled to everything. So I definitely did not enjoy having to deal with those people. But we'd have like regulars that, you know, would more than make up for it because they're just so nice and so sweet to us. And actually, I think it's because of the rude customers or guests that I've experienced at Target is the reason why now, whenever I go shopping, and if someone is rude to the cashier or any employee that works in a retail store, I will go out of my way to stick up for them. My husband hates it and is probably embarrassed of it, but I will not let anyone talk down to someone who's working in retail because they have no idea how hard it is to do all that they do and still be nice to rude customers. So be warned, don't be rude to people because I might be behind you and I will let you know. And I kind of feel like it's my duty now that I am not in retail to stick up for the people that do work in retail, especially when I see them just getting verbally abused by really rude customers. And you know, they're not always in the position to really talk back. And so I'll do it for them, gladly. I think another con is giving up your weekends. That's really hard, especially if you have family, especially during the holidays. You know, you work pretty much every holiday. So that gets really, really tough on the family. Okay, so at this point, I'm not quite done with the makeup, but I will pause and do the setting spray, and I use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And the purpose of doing this multiple times is, again, just to keep the makeup on my face no matter what I'm doing while I'm working at Target. Okay, next step is eyeliner, and I use the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper, and then I also use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner to do a wingtip. And I'll actually do a little bit of a thicker line on my eyes, just again because the lights in Target really wash you out, so I want to make sure that I get a really nice defined eye. And for my bottom lash line, I'll use the Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen in Black Cocoa. And this is also sold at Target, and I love the Pixie line, especially the liners. They're really, really soft and they go on really smoothly. Well, one plus about working at Target is most likely there is a Starbucks in their Target, and I'm pretty sure they put that in just for the employees. Okay, next is lips. And you want to try and stay away from anything, again, that will clash with the red. So I usually stay with nudes or kind of light pink. So for lip liner, I use the Makeup Forever lip liner in 2C. And for lipstick, I use the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear lipstick in Melted Nude. Okay, so now that the lipstick is done, I'll go ahead and do another coat, my last coat of the Urban Decay setting spray. I put a lot on, just to make sure everything stays. Okay, and if you choose to wear lashes, by all means, go ahead. It just is not for me. When I was working at Target, I was so busy, on the go all the time. It bothered me too much just to have that weight on my eyes. And so I just simply curl them and just put mascara on and I'm good. Okay, and this is my completed look of how I did my makeup when I worked at Target. It definitely helped that I use a lot of the setting spray and just things that will not move once it's on your face, because you're doing so many things at Target all at once. And while you're doing those things, you'll have guests asking you for more things too. Oh, sure, I'm cleaning up a spill, folding a table, and trying to find a lost child in the store, but I'll go ahead and call 12 stores just to find that one shirt for you. And of course, like any good team member, you gotta have your name badge on the right-hand side. And of course, gotta wear a watch, figure out what time you're gonna leave for the day, if ever. So overall, if you do work at Target, the main thing is to make sure that your makeup doesn't clash with the red that you have to wear, because typically it's red and khaki. Although I hear nowadays they're letting people wear red and jeans, which is way better, because come on, who wants to actually wear red and khaki normally? No one does. I think another thing you have to account for is that you're very active, you're doing a lot of things at Target, whether it's helping guests, cleaning something, folding something, zoning something. You want to make sure that the products that you use for your face is non-greasy, non-cakey. It gives you a long wear, and primer, both your face primer and your eyeshadow primer, very, very important so that it can stick onto your face the entire day no matter what you're doing, no matter if you're in the back room, the sales floor, in the freezer or cooler for most of your day, you know that your makeup is gonna stay put on your face. So what do you guys think of the look? I'd be curious to know your thoughts, especially if you do work at Target and try this out, see if it works, see if it stays on the entire day. Go ahead and comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching, and go ahead and subscribe to watch more of my videos. I'll see you next time.